What is one thing that the best front offices in football have? Excellent cap management. Well, the same can't be said about the league's worst teams.
Defensive end Chase Young, and this at the age of 28 years old. The defensive end, a 3-year deal, $51 million.
With the 2025 NFL season around the corner, it's a good time to present our updated list of the worst contract at every NFL position. Offense. Quarterback, Deshaun Watson. Yeah, come on, who else could it be? 3 years ago, this guy got a 5-year, fully guaranteed $230 million contract from the Cleveland Browns, after they gave up a monster package to the Houston Texans to trade for the mercurial quarterback. The price included a trio of first-round picks. Yeah, who won the trade again? Since giving Watson the historic contract in 2022, the Browns have gotten 9 wins, 10 losses, 19 touchdown passes, and 12 interceptions. And the funny thing is, you can't blame the coaching staff or even the Browns supporting cast here. Jacoby Brissett ran this offense much better while Watson was suspended in 2022, and Joe freaking Flacco won Comeback Player of the Year honors in 2023. Watson will likely miss all of 2025 after re-tearing his Achilles during rehab, and the Browns will still pay him all that money to do nothing. Oh, and did we mention how dumb the trade was since it alienated a large portion of the Cleveland fan base, given Watson's serious off-the-field legal issues? Yeesh, never mind the worst QB contract right now. This is easily the worst QB contract in history. Wide receiver, Cooper Kupp. Following his release from the Los Angeles Rams, the Super Bowl 56 MVP and 2021 Offensive Rookie of the Year signed a 3-year deal worth $45 million with the NFC West rival Seattle Seahawks. A $15 million average annual value is not totally outrageous, but look at the receivers making more per year than Kupp, and you'll start to notice that, well, they're all producing, and thus well-deserving of their paychecks. That can't exactly be said for Kupp. Injuries have limited Kupp to 33 games over the last 3 seasons. The oft-injured receiver is 32, a popular age for wideouts to start declining. Also, going from Matthew Stafford to Sam Darnold is not exactly an upgrade, at least in our eyes. Seahawks GM John Schneider usually manages his money very well in free agency, but this Kupp signing looks poised to go down as one of the biggest busts yet. Tight end, Cole Kmet. It feels like a generous overpayment when the Chicago Bears gave Kmet a 4-year extension worth $50 million in the 2023 offseason, but then he silenced the critics with a career year, tallying 73 catches for 719 yards and 6 touchdowns. But Kmet came back down to earth in 2024, logging just 47 catches for 474 yards and 4 touchdowns. Thus, it is official. He has got the worst tight end contract in the game today. His $50 million value and $12.5 million AAV is 6th among tight ends. There is just no way that he should be making more than the likes of Dallas Goedert, Hunter Henry, and Pat Freiermuth. The Bears also used their 2025 first-round pick on Michigan tight end Colston Loveland. So Kmet will be getting paid a lot of money to be Chicago's second-best player at the position. Yeah, not Chicago's best example of cap management, but hey, they do them. Running back, Devin Singletary. We're admittedly nitpicking a bit here, since the highest-paid running backs right now are in their primes and earning every cent of their deals. But it's safe to say the New York Giants are feeling buyer's remorse over the 3-year, $16.5 million deal that they handed Devin Singletary last year. A $5.5 million annual value isn't terrible, but he shouldn't be making more per year than Najee Harris, Austin Eckler, Jordan Mason, or Jalen Warren. Singletary had just 437 rushing yards in 2024 and averaged 3.9 yards a carry, both career lows. Rookie Tyrone Tracy Jr., a 5th-round pick out of Purdue, replaced Singletary as the RB1 with 839 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. Yeah, $5.5 million is a lot of money for a number 2 running back in today's NFL. Offensive tackle, Dan Moore Jr. Now, with all due respect to the Tennessee Titans front office, we gotta ask this. What in the world were they thinking when they handed the former Pittsburgh Steeler a mammoth 4-year deal worth $82 million this offseason? Moore was never once a superstar during his 4 years with the Steelers. You want to look at the numbers from Pro Football Focus for 2024? A 67.2 grade that ranked 46th among 140 offensive tackles. 5 penalties committed and 12 sacks allowed, most among all guys at the position. So why exactly is he carrying a $20.5 million AAV? That and his contract value are tied for 10th highest among offensive tackles. Are the Titans really sure that they want to be paying this Moore Jr. guy superstar money when he's a replaceable level starter? Yeah, Apparently so. Center Lloyd Cushenberry III. After a solid 2023 season with the Denver Broncos, Cushenberry got a 4-year deal from the Titans worth $50 million in 2024 free agency. We know teams have to overpay for quality offensive linemen in free agency, but Cushenberry was being paid like a Pro Bowler, something that he's never been. Cushenberry is nowhere close to being a top 10 center in the game, and yet he is somehow the 5th highest paid center in the game, even over superior centers like Drew Dahlman, Connor McGovern, Tyler Linderbaum, and Ryan Kelly. Cushenberry's first season with the Titans was cut short after he suffered an Achilles tear. In the 8 games that he played, a 55.4 grade at PFF that ranked him 49th among 64 centers. His 57.2 pass blocking grade, 57.2, was also 47th at the position. Guard Robert Hunt. Now, with all due respect to Hunt, there's just no way that he should be the 2nd highest paid guard in football. Suppose it just goes to show how desperate the Carolina Panthers were for offensive line help last year. The Panthers signed Hunt to a 5-year deal worth $100 million in 2024 free agency after 4 years at the Miami Dolphins. The only other guard with a 9-figure contract is Atlanta Falcons star Chris Lindstrom. And only 4 guards have higher AAV than Hunt. Hunt earned his first Pro Bowl nod in 2024, but his production was not elite by any means. His 67.7 PFF grade was 37th among guards. His saving grace was a stellar 72.0 run blocking grade. But, that doesn't fully make up for his 57.5 pass blocking grade. Hunt was also penalized 5 times and surrendered as many sacks. Sorry, but you need to be playing like Trey Smith or Quentin Nelson in order to justify a $100 million deal. And, Hunt isn't that. Defense. Defensive end, Chase Young. Young was touted as a generational and can't-miss defensive end prospect when Washington took him 2nd overall in 2020. Well, fast forward to 2025, and his career has been, underwhelming up to this point. Young earned Pro Bowl and Defensive Rookie of the Year honors after tallying 7.5 sacks and helping Washington to a surprise NFC East Division crown. Inexplicably, his rookie season marked peak Chase Young. The Saints signed Young to a 1-year prove-it deal last year. He gave them 5.5 sacks and garnered a mediocre 66.8 PFF grade that ranked 70th among edge defenders. And yet, the Saints believed it was good enough to give him a 3-year deal worth $51 million. You give a guy that if he is a consistent threat for double-digit sacks. Well, newsflash, he's never topped 7.5 sacks in a season. But whatever. You do you, Saints. You do you. Defensive tackle, Christian Wilkins. Make no mistake, Wilkins is still a productive and impactful player for the Las Vegas Raiders. He's also not worth the ridiculous money that they're paying him. Both these things can be true. After tallying a career-high 9 sacks for the Dolphins in 2023, Wilkins signed a 4-year deal worth $110 million. Injuries limited him to 5 games in 2024, so we'll call it a wash. But still, he was never worth the 2nd biggest defensive tackle contract in football. Chris Jones makes the most because he's posting double-digit sacks a year. But take away the 2023 season, and Wilkins has 13.5 sacks in 5 seasons. That is not 27.5 million AAV worthy. Off-ball linebacker, Tremaine Edmunds. We didn't understand why the Bears gave Edmunds a 4-year deal worth $72 million in 2023, and 2 years later, we still don't. Yes, he was a beast for the Buffalo Bills, but that had something to do with playing on a star-studded defense with one of football's best defensive-minded coaches in Sean McDermott, folks. Edmunds was the 7th biggest contract among all linebackers, and his 2024 PFF grade was 59.2, 119th among linebackers. He has been a disaster in coverage, non-existent as a pass rusher, and mediocre as a run defender. Man, buyer's remorse, anyone? Outside linebacker, Bradley Chubb. Chubb was also considered a can't-miss pass rusher when the Denver Broncos drafted him 5th overall in 2018. After acquiring Chubb from the Broncos at the 2022 trade deadline, Miami handed Chubb a 5-year extension worth $110 million. Fortunately for Miami, Chubb was willing to restructure his deal to a 3-year pact worth $54.49 million. Sorry, but far too much money for a guy with only 2 double-digit sack seasons on his resume, and for a guy who can't stay healthy. Miami should have known the risks. Chubb wasn't durable in Denver. knee injury forced him to miss all of 2024, and yet he has the 8th richest deal for an outside linebacker. Unless he finds a way to stay on the field in 2025, this contract is just going to become a bigger burden. Cornerback, L'Jarius Sneed. The Titans should have known that Sneed was a product of the Chiefs' star-studded defense when they traded for him last year. The $76.4 million deal before he ever even played a snap for him? Ugh, even worse. Sneed was limited to 5 games in Tennessee last season because of injuries. He was still a giant problem with a 36.3 PFF grade, ranking 212th among 222 cornerbacks. Kinda funny that he got the 12th richest cornerback contract, isn't it? Free safety, Cameron Bynum. The Indianapolis Colts handed Bynum a mammoth 40-year deal worth $60 million once the offseason started. That's sure a lot of money for a guy with replaceable player-level production. According to Pro Football Reference, he's allowed a 99.7 passer rating when targeted and 13 TDs in coverage. Yeah, good luck with that, Colts. Strong safety, Trayvon Merrick. Desperate for help on defense, the Carolina Panthers gave Merrick a 3-year deal worth $51 million. Holy overpayment, Batman. Merrick has never been an All-Pro or Pro Bowler. This is a guy who's allowed 13 TDs in coverage since his 2021 rookie year, and a 99.1 passer rating when targeted. I don't know, maybe Carolina sees something in him that the Raiders didn't, but we are really struggling to justify paying All-Pro money for a barely above average safety. Special teams. Kicker, Tyler Bass. Bass doesn't have the best reputation right now because of his infamous wide right 2 miss in the Bills' 2023 divisional round loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. But truth is, he's been shaky at best since his rookie year in 2020. Having missed 5 extra points last year, he's not exactly money in that category either. But hey, that's what $20.4 million buys the Bills, I guess. Punter, Cameron Johnston. Only 4 NFL punters have more value on their deal than Cameron Johnston, who's got a 3-year pact worth $9 million from the Steelers in 2024. Johnston suffered a season-ending knee injury in Week 1, forcing the team to rely on Corliss Waitman instead. For his career, Johnston has averaged 47.3 yards per punt. In a full season, his best average was 48.1. So, yeah, hardly eye-popping and certainly not worth $9 million. But hey, what changes would you make to our list of the worst contracts at every NFL position? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then clicking the like button helps out a ton, and you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.